outside, music, everything about this Kate points to a horrible bequest from King Charles. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Queen News Channel and our very own Kate Middleton. Charles may put the Prince and Princess of Wales in the heart of a very complicated issue, but are the Sussex people seeing red at the thought of this good fortune? However, before we get started, we'd want to hear your thoughts and viewpoints on the topic we discussed in our community tab. How shall I put it? Catherine, Princess of Wales, is a great class act. As for Meghan, well, surely no designer wants her to stop wearing their clothing at this point. Since everything is a mess, let's start with hearing from you. Teresa. You can't beat class, and Catherine always looks amazing in whatever she wears. It appears as though the other person purchased her clothing from a high-end store. I find it intriguing that Catherine does not have to show off her most expensive wardrobe. Because she knows how to dress herself, she always looks stunning. After Meghan, who is hopeless, we have Jean-Marie. There is no comparison to trying hard with Princess Catherine, she is flawless and all glass. Markle, Meghan looked the worst, according to Joy Bird. She donned an attire that I found unbelievable, and then hello Valerie, how different. Her modesty and decorum-style politeness are evident in Princess Catherine. The other is disorganized. Hello Valerie, this is a really great point that you're making. That, in my opinion, is part of the reason Catherine always seems better than Meghan. The insides of her are so much superior. On the exterior, Catherine appears to be a wonderful person, and then there's the CBH princess. Whatever Catherine wears, she looks amazing. Does she really believe that woman could look so beautiful in a potato sack? ET2 user, comparing the Ritz Hotel in London to a homeless shelter in La Touche on that particular Hills 3066 is akin to doing that. There simply isn't a comparable. I just take issue with this because I don't think it's fair to compare a can of Coke to a glass of great wine. To me, it's like comparing a cup of raw sewage to a can of Coke. I laughed at this statement made by Kate London. Scariest of all is Meghan Markle's beaming smile, as if she were immensely proud of her UPS Gumby pajamas from last night. Wonder why Dior said to pass. Dior, indeed, had no intention of involving himself with her. Violet Catherine embodies elegance, doesn't she? Pierre, I know what Iron and Meghan could want for Christmas. If many others also obtain Meghan and Iron, wouldn't it be hilarious? Do you believe she would understand? Most likely not yet. As always, Susan describes Mona Princess Catherine as stunning rather than disheveled, and she is certainly stunning. That's something we can all agree upon, then. It seems since, Tony remarks, that Banana Republic would come out and ask people not to wear their clothing. Who would ever buy them seriously if Meghan Markle is the example of how they would seem on you? But what brand would want Meghan Markle to be sporting their apparel at this stage, and to expect that she will become a multi-millionaire Instagram model by working for brands? Dreaming, that's her. Nanita Princess Kate, the pinnacle of grace, beauty, and glass, came next. Mari Jones's photo sums it all up, class versus crude. I'm always in awe of Meghan's clothing selections. Does she really have no one who will be honest with her? Fashion designer, sad, and stylist. Everything is depressing, but since everything is happening to her, it's not really that depressing. And then Vicky Carey, I noticed that linen clings to creases readily, and the wearer notices it as well. That doesn't seem good at all, Vicky, and I don't understand the reasoning behind ignoring the fact that you are entirely wrinkled. It occurs to me to talk more about Meghan Markle's actions. We simply need to set rationality aside. By the look of things, Meghan doesn't think that rules apply to her, so I suppose she won't be following the rules of reasoning either. Reading the margins comment made me giggle as well. The other one dresses poorly and picks terrible materials that will wrinkle her crush. Princess Catherine is all elegance, she always reminds me of an unmade bed. You are dead on. That woman never makes her own bed at home. How much are you willing to wager? It is difficult for me to imagine her as the kind of person who has to make her bed before leaving the house. She doesn't really care if it's a jumbled mess, in my opinion, because at least it will go with her outfit, and then there's Moody Blue. I find it hilarious that she now tries to mimic Princess Diana or Princess Catherine after complaining about having to wear neutral colors all the time. Indeed, it appears that after more than 3 years, she has come to the conclusion that perhaps neutrals weren't as awful after all, and that a few remarks down. I believe the gal from Café Con Leche intentionally wears disheveled clothing at this time. At this point, it has to be deliberate, lol. Like you, I don't think this is accidental, and now that we know, it appears to be sugar. Paredes Benigno Meghan receives a taxpayer stipend for clothing, thus her wardrobe at Dusseldorf is more practical and less expensive than Kate's. William's marriage to Kate. We have Sam da Silva, therefore I'm quite happy that I can count on all of you to defend the truth. Wendy Linton, well, don't you hear some nonsense on air? Catherine does not receive government funding for her clothes. Clothes aren't too expensive for Meghan Markle. A bunch of tripe, that is. We are lucky to have Catherine, Princess of Wales. The woman there is the epitome of how to dress well and repurpose clothing without breaking the bank. After following the fashionista's advice, Meghan files a lawsuit against Harvey. She doesn't appear to spend much money on clothing, which is absolutely true, but we already know that she spends a ridiculous amount of money on that poor-looking, ill-fitting apparel, possibly because the wearer looks so cheap. In addition, a number of people discussed how Meghan's clothing would naturally be more wrinkled because she was wearing linen. With her frequent outfit changes, Teasdale claims it is evident that she either lacked the time or was too indolent to iron her clothes. Then, if everything is wrinkle-proof, why carry so many linen outfits? For a frequent traveler, fabrics might be a better option. She is completely ignorant. Yes, it is strange. Really, did she not realize how readily linen wrinkles? Was this the first time the woman wore linen? She definitely has, I think. Is she even remotely knowledgeable about textiles? Likely not just now. Please understand me. Beautiful linen. I adore wearing linen, but just like anything else, you have to be selective about when you wear it and make sure you iron it really well beforehand. Don't forget to check if you have enough time for that. It's similar to what Chloe Hall mentions subtly that Meghan Markle appears to wear a lot of linen apparel. If you are walking or standing, linen is okay, but if you spend any time sitting down, you will end up looking like a wrinkly mess. My belief is that Meghan Markle ought to be aware of Meghan's tendency to present herself as a fashionista. Even though Meghan has never held an official position in the fashion industry, this is still essentially basic sense. Okay, everyone, it's time to get past the comments and discuss today's major subject. One thing becomes obvious if you read and consider the strange, insane, and sometimes amazing beast that is the British monarchy for any length of time. There's always one winner who can lie in bed and eat pie while wondering if the cellars have any more of that good wine, and then there are the others. Although they possess titles, they are unable to gain riches, seniority, or power.